G'day, my name's Brett. I wanted to share with you an experience I had recently with Jesus. One day I was praying and Jesus came and stood in front of me and he put his hand out and said to me, "I want to show you something." And I said to him, "Yes, Lord." So I put my hand in his and he took my hand and suddenly we were surrounded in a mist. And the mist was covered everything. I couldn't see Jesus anymore. I couldn't see me. And we just traveled through this mist for a little while. And then I could hear these sounds of children laughing. And as I focused on the sounds, they got louder and suddenly the mist disappeared. And I was standing in this amazing place. It was just a massive pond was in the middle. And at the end of the pond was a waterfall that was pouring down into the pond. And then there was children laughing and running around the pond and some were swimming in the pond, and you could see fish actually jumping out and then splashing. You could see little animals running around in the bushes. And as I looked at this scene, I thought, wow, this is so beautiful. The Lord actually, once he put me in this place, he went off and he started playing with the children. You could hear the continual laughter, you can hear these little animals, you could hear so many different things in this place. And the grass, the grass was like a spongy, verdant green. It was beautiful. And around the pond were massive willow trees. And these willow trees, they sort of came around the pond and then they followed a little brook that came from the pond and then went off down behind me. And I was standing there and I was thinking, Jesus, this is so beautiful. I said, this is what it's like in heaven. And as I stood there, I realized there's no noise here. It was something that really struck me, was the fact that, there wasn't any mechanical noises, like from air conditioning systems. There was no cars, there was no planes, there was no traffic, it was just pure sound. And the sounds were all natural sounds. And as I started to focus on listening to the sounds, each of those sounds, as they come and hit my body, they permeated my whole being. And I felt this joy, sort of, when I heard the children laughter, their laughter came and hit me and then penetrated me and permeated my being. And I could feel joy as the laughter went down inside of me. And then I heard the birds and I heard the crickets and the frogs and the water flowing down into this pond, the water flowing over the brook. And each of those sounds had something special that it did to me. It refreshed me, it healed me, it brought peace and calm. It was just amazing to experience this. And I just said to the Lord, wow, so this is what it's like in heaven. This sounds like this. And then the Lord said to me that these sounds are what He had in the beginning in the garden. This is how nature, this is how the things that are around us were meant to impact us, meant to enrich our lives. And I thought, this is incredible, Lord, and I sort of didn't know what to do with it after that. And I just, I shared it with my family and thought, this is really great, Anyway, so 3 weeks later, I was working with the Australian election, and I was spending some time with a candidate, and the candidate said to me, "I have somebody that needs your help." And I'm a marketer, and a business consultant, and she knew that, of course. And so I said, yeah, sure, look, just give him my number, give him a call, tell him to call me and I'll talk to him. So about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from this gentleman, and he starts to tell me that, he needs some help with marketing. He told me a bad story, where he'd spent all his money, people had ripped him off, and he got nothing for it. And I said, sure, well, let's get together and let's talk. So we eventually got together and we were talking about what he does, and he did sound. And I thought, wow, that's great. I actually hadn't thought about the experience I had with the Lord in heaven, but I continued to spend some time with him. So he eventually said to me that, you know, he can't afford me because of the amount of money that he'd spent. He had nothing left. And I said, well, look, I'll see what I can do. You send me your products and I'll listen to what you've got and we'll see how we go. So I get his products in the email, in the mail, and then I listened to the first one. And the first thing that came out was children laughing. And it was exactly what I'd heard in heaven. And then as I listened to this track, each of the sounds that I heard in heaven, they came out in order on the track. And my mind was blown. I was saying, Lord, what is this? How can this be? And so I was really excited, and I thought, okay, well, the Lord obviously has his hand on this. I'm going to help this guy. And so I didn't share with him my experience at first. I didn't say anything to him. I had a look, you know, at his thing. I reviewed the business. I looked at, you know, different aspects of the business that I could see that, yes, okay, this is going to work. You know, we can make this profitable. We can do some real impact on the world in this case. So I went ahead and contacted the guy and said, look, yes, I can help you. So we started to do that, and eventually I told him what happened to me. And then he started to explain to me how he created this soundtrack. And as he explained the soundtrack, how he did it, every aspect of the soundtrack about like the children laughing, the animals in the bushes, all this sort of thing, he explained is exactly how I explained it to my wife. It was like hearing myself speaking. And I just realized, it was confirmed to me that what Jesus had done, had put us together, had created this sound, and it is from him. It's a sound of heaven. He showed it to me while I was in heaven. And he got this gentleman, Ken, his name is, he got Ken to actually develop it. Now he's the expert, he's the engineer, so he actually did it. And so he put us both together so that we can show you what it sounds like in heaven, what it's meant to sound like here, how it affects you here. And this is the amazing thing about this soundtrack, is that this soundtrack will change the way you think. It will change the way your life is, particularly if you're in a bad situation at the moment, because the Lord has created these sounds for us. He's created these sounds to help us bring our minds back to the point of where it's supposed to be. And that is in balance. Like the Lord says in Timothy, that he's given us not a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. And that's what these sounds are. This is what this soundscape is. It's to bring back a balance in your brain, particularly after all of this stuff that we've been going through now with COVID and the stress and what's happening around the world. You know, this is a gift that he's given us, and we got this gift and we want to give it to you. So I just want to encourage you to log on and grab this soundtrack and see the results for yourself. We have a whole lot of testimonials there on the website as well that we can share with you at how it's affected other people. And it's just amazing. So thank you for your time, and God bless you.